Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'd like to teach you why ultra-short throw projectors are solving a big optical problem and why they are expensive. But I made a dedicated video about this. But why some people still prefer long throw projectors if they are just cinema enthusiasts, and the reason behind it. So first thing is first, why these things are expensive. I explained in the other video that I compared the ultra short throw against the same price long throw projectors and what you can get from both worlds if you have same amount of money. But in this video, I will explain why the optical problem these projectors like ultra short throws are solving are quite a big one. Starting off how they do it. Let me just show you. The distance between the projector and the screen is 21.5 centimeters. The distance between optical element and the bottom of the screen is about 58 centimeters, 57, 58. And the top of the screen and the optical element is 140 centimeters. So that means this projector is focusing 57 centimeters and 140 centimeters in the same time from same distance. Like example, the projector is in the same distance, right? The optical element distance from up top and the bottom is quite different. 3 times for this size of screen is much more difference. But if you go little back for bigger screens like 150 inch, then the distance between the bottom of the screen and the top of the screen from the projector's focus point is going to be differentiating again. So these projectors are really solving a big optical problem. Let me just give you another example. This is a short throw projector, AAXA SLC 450. I made a review out of it. This is a full HD short throw projector, it's not a long throw one. So I can create same amount of size from here. Instead of 21, 22 centimeters, I can create it from 1.2, probably, roughly speaking. So what I'm solving is I am projecting from here to up, from here to bottom. So my optical distance, let me just give you an example. If you're a short throw, you have to throw like this, quite wide, okay? So the placement is here. You have to wide open. You have to focus in the same time. But if you're a long throw, you open your eyes like a little wide, okay? Not just this. So you can do it with a narrow angle, but from the distance, it can grow on a long run, just like a torchlight, okay? When you go back, it increases the size. If you don't have a zoom lens with the cheaper projectors like a long throw or short throw, you have to go back and forth, right? Simply. So the placement is like this, the light angle is like this. Along the way, it just increases. But for this type of devices, they have to solve 2 problems. First, focus bottom, up, left and right. And also they have to solve a problem of distortion. This is not a fisheye lens from a camera, video camera or photography camera, but they don't have a distortion problem like we see on the fisheye camera lenses when we shoot. As a professional photographer over 15 or 20 years, all I can say, those fisheye lenses are quite expensive. They are creating huge images and squeezing them inside of a rectangle. But these projectors are solving a big problem. Image comes as a rectangle and they reflect from like a curved surface of a mirror and then create image without a distortion. So we are solving optical focus problem and the distortion problem in the same time. That's why these projectors are expensive. But still, they have to solve a big problem. And they can't until certain amount of price. What people look for the projectors is image or uniformity. Like everything should be uniform, just like a TV. When you look at a TV, every pixel is sharp as the same. But when you look at an image photography camera lens, when it produces, around the corners, the quality getting lower, okay? So the picture quality also gets softer. So what you have is, when you have a short throw projectors, when you focus at the bottom to see the pixels without any ghosting, you might lose up top focus or corner focus, because the distance that you have to focus is 57, 140 plus something for this size. So when you do that, you have to choose a point. For me, with the Epson, I look at the center point, I focus the center, and I just live up with the rest of it. This is not a cheap projector, by the way. This is around $2,000 and plus levels of full HD projector. And I will detailedly review this one. But the reason behind it, it doesn't have a big focus ghosting problem. It has quite a bit of uniformity. But if you go cheap, like my earlier Xiaomi, it had a focus uniformity issue. When you focus up top, you lose the bottom. When you lose the bottom, when you focus at the bottom to see the pixels, when you lose up focus, or around the corners. When you focus on the middle, you lose up and bottom in the same time, just a little bit. So generally, you have to pick the best, what's best for your eye. But basically, they have a big focusing issue in general. Are they solving it? Yes. In this case, my Epson doesn't have a big problem, but still, when I focus manually, I look up and bottom part and look in the middle in the same time. When I get close, change the screen size. But definitely, I got soft a little bit around corners when I don't do it exactly. This device doesn't have an autofocus. Autofocus models, much more expensive models, solve this sort of problem somehow, a little bit better, but you get close and look at it. So long throw projectors doesn't have to do that. They just place themselves in the same place, like single distance, okay? And they have to focus same distance for the up, same distance from the down, same distance from the side. Even though the optical quality will be changing from projector to projector. For example, this is a good small projector and the image is good, but there are a lot of cheap projectors out there. The corners of the lens are not good. So what I'm trying to tell in this video, these devices are really solving a big optical problem, and because of this, they are expensive. And some of the cinema enthusiast people still prefer long throw, not just because of, the price, probably half the price of similar level of product. They don't want the focus uniformity issue. If they are picky about it, the image quality, and long throw projectors, some of them has a lot more HDR settings, a lot more customizability. Like if you want to customize the visual for yourself, your style, or your, taste, some of the cinema projectors really have, when it comes down to the long throw, have more settings than the ultra short throw projectors in entry level. Why I'm saying entry level? Because if you go Hisense, maybe Barco combined Hisense, or directly Barco, or like $3,500 and above projectors, you might have extra settings, extra sharpness, autofocus, keystone correction, and everything. But still, if you pay same amount of money to the long throw, you will get extremely sharper image because it doesn't have to solve this problem. They are projecting much more easily than these devices. These devices have to overcome the difference of the distance and the wide angle and the mirror or the element that they use. Of course, there are other reasons that I will create other tutorials, like bigger sensors, sensor size, chipset, what do I call it? Light source, elements, whatever you want to call it. There are lots of reasons that image uniformity, focus uniformity, image quality to get it right. And there are a lot of things that you have to pay for that. But that in this video, all I can tell you is just simply get the subject in a sort of like digestible size is this. So you can prefer long throw, but you can prefer ultra short throw. It's up to you. I made a dedicated video. You can go back and watch at the bottom of this video's description and probably around corner of somewhere. You can watch what can you get in the same amount of money from long throw or short throw video. Go back and watch it. Why do I use daily basis ultra short throw instead of long throw is obvious. I don't want to go in front of the light. I have an ALR ultra short throw screen like this. I can use it in the lit environment. And when I close the light, I get the best blacks, most of the contrast that I really wanted. And it has a good speaker. I don't have to connect anything, even though I have a lot of speakers around. And I love the practicality of this stuff, because when you get closer to the projector, you hear the fan noise much more. And if you want a big picture from a long throw, well, you kind of like get close most of the time if you don't have a huge space, or if it's just not too, ceiling mounted, too away from you, you hear the fan noise. To get rid of the fan noise, most basic way is getting away from as far as you can from the projector like this. So this projector is standing right in front of the screen. I am sitting far back, so I don't hear the fan noise at all. When it's in the cinema mode, I don't hear it at all. When it's in the mid-level mode, I just barely hear it. And if I just pump up a little bit of volume, I don't hear it at all. So that's my reasons to go with the ultra short throw. I'm not saying this is the sharpest image, but if you increase the price, you will get a sharper image. I'm not saying ultra short throw projectors can't solve this issue, but they have to overcome this optical issue. They are doing it, but it's difficult to do. And also for the long throws, it's much more easier. With the same amount of money, you can get a lot of stuff done. With half the price, you can get even better gaming projectors out there. So I hope this video taught you something. And if you have learned anything, you can go back and watch the other videos. And behind this screen, I have a 65-inch QLED TV. So you can compare in my other videos, projector versus TV kind of like videos, and how close this thing really is. Because this is right now, it's not in its brightest mode. If you haven't watched the other channels, this is just in the bright cinema mode, but it's in the dynamic mode. It's totally something else. The colors are a little shifting, but this is just really becomes just like a TV. But the camera might auto adjust because of the brightness. Don't get this wrong, okay? See it like this. Camera might adjust. I can become darker, but the room is extremely bright. Take a look at this, just a TV style of brightness. So if you want to learn more about the projectors, home cinema, you can ask your questions and I can make them as a tutorial videos like this. And subscribe will be great. Liking the videos will hugely help the channel. And don't forget to comment, just at least say hi, because YouTube loves interactions. And for the growth of the channel, your comments are quite important. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye from Home Cinema and Tech Review.